Hey everyone, welcome to your daily news update. Quick, clear and straight to the point. We've got top stories from 18th of August lined up just for you. So plug in your earphones, grab your chai and let's get started. Global news. SoftBank Group agreed to invest $2 billion in chipmaker Intel, offering $23 billion per share. The infusion is aimed at bolstering chip production and strengthening strategic ties. Intel shares responded positively in pre-market trading. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi called on India to view China as a partner rather than rival, promoting mutual benefit and strategic trust. The message came during high-level talks in New Delhi. It signifies a diplomatic thaw amid shifting global landscapes. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar stressed the importance of continuing border de-escalation and ensuring differences don't become disputes. His comments followed talks with Wang Yi in New Delhi. It reflects both sides' desire to stabilize bilateral relations. Prime Minister Narendra Modi referred to Russian President Vladimir Putin as a friend and simultaneously bolstered ties with China, signaling a diplomatic shift from the US. The move comes as India balances global relationships amid rising US tariff tensions. The Rajya Sabha passed the new Indian Ports Bill 2025, replacing the 1908 Act. The legislation aims to modernize port operations, enhance efficiency, and position India as a maritime leader by 2047. The US imposed an indefinite refugee ban and froze associated funding. The policy shift affects asylum processing and humanitarian support. It marks a broader retrenchment in migration policy. Hurricane Erin rapidly strengthened, prompting evacuations across borders parts of North Carolina. Emergency services prepared for potential widespread impact. Weather authorities closely monitored the storm's trajectory and effects. The Air Canada flight attendant strike continued despite a government return to work order. More flights were cancelled, stranding passengers and escalating the national travel crisis. The labor standoff highlighted tensions between union and federal authority. China hosted its first Robot Olympics, where humanoid robots competed in athletic-style events. Several robots malfunctioned or crashed, prompting safety recalibrations. The event signals growing interest in AI and robotics gaming culture. Amid the strike, Russian scouts were delayed, illustrating the human toll of disrupted travel. The incident underscores how labor disputes ripple across international communities. It amplified public frustration and pressure on airlines. News from India. Indian Railways installed portable solar panels between tracks in Varanasi to support net zero goals. The initiative showcases a shift toward greener infrastructure. It reduces dependence on conventional energy sources. Astronaut Shubhanshu Shukla, after returning from ISS International Space Station, landed in India and met Prime Minister Modi. His mission raised India's visibility in space exploration. It highlights the growing role of public and private collaboration, example SpaceX, Action Space. Uttar Pradesh inaugurated the country's first green hydrogen plant, a critical step to reduce carbon emissions. The plant supports energy decarbonization across industrial sectors. It reflects accelerating interest in clean energy solutions. Governor C.P. Radhakrishnan of Maharashtra was announced as the BJP's vice presidential candidate. The move indicates political repositioning ahead of national elections. It follows the governing party's strategic placements. The election body decried the unauthorized sharing of voters' photographs, raising privacy and electoral integrity concerns. The incident prompted calls for stricter data protection during campaigns and exposed governance gaps in election commission administration. Bihar's draft voter list excluded 6.5 million individuals, a discrepancy flagged by election authorities. The error highlighted challenges in voter registration accuracy. It registered demands for revisions before final publication. Australia's Qantas Airways was fined 59 million US dollars, which sums up to about 90 million Australian dollars, for illegally laying off 1,800 ground staff during the COVID-19 pandemic. The ruling reinforces employer accountability during crisis. It sets precedent for labor rights reinforcement. US President Trump met Ukrainian President Zelensky in Washington, setting the stage for broader discussion with European leaders over the Ukraine conflict. The diplomacy underscores shifting alliances in war mediation. It frames geopolitics amid European concerns. India faced escalating trade tensions as the US threatened increased tariffs, including on Russian oil imports. The prospect strained bilateral economic ties and raised export uncertainties. Indian policymakers reassessed trade and energy diplomacy. The Air Canada flight attendant strike impacted Indian passengers as well who are traveling to North America. The flights were cancelled or delayed, causing widespread inconvenience. The crisis spotlighted the need for contingency travel arrangements. External Affairs Minister Jay Shankar and Wang Yi addressed border de-escalation and trade cooperation. Their discussions signal intent to stabilize ties and advance mutual development. It represents a pragmatic foreign policy approach. Telangana news. Telangana courts halted tree felling in Kanchagachaboli, focusing on forest restoration versus development interests. This legal intervention seeks environmental balance amid urban sprawl. It's a key case in urban ecological governance. The State Disaster Response Force SDRF, firefighters and police rescued 4 shepherds and 656 stranded sheep in Kamareddy during heavy rains. The effort highlighted emergency preparedness and rural distress response. It reflected robust interagency coordination. The Indian Meteorological Department (IMD) issued red alerts for 4 districts and warned of flash floods across 5 and more. The residents and authorities were urged to brace for extremely heavy rainfall. It reaffirmed monsoon's volatility in the state. Following a road accident, police carried a victim's body on a pushcart due to ambulance unavailability, sparking widespread public outrage. The incident raised questions about emergency infrastructure gaps and it spurred demands for improved resources. Torrential monsoon rains upwards of 20 centimeters wrecked farmland and infrastructure in districts like Mulugu, Bhadradri Kottagudem, and Khammam. Flooding, canal breaches, and village isolation prompted NDRF deployment. The disaster emphasized monsoon management challenges. A breach in the Singur Canal's left bank in Isojipet of Khammam district caused significant flooding and triggered urgent inspection by the state officials. The incident illustrated infrastructure vulnerability during monsoons. It accelerated restoration directives. News from Hyderabad. A chariot struck high-tension live wires during a Janmashtami procession in Ramantapur. Electrocution killed 5 and injured 4. The tragedy highlighted insufficient safety checks in public events. It sparked calls for stricter event protocols. Locals blamed the electricity department for negligence following the chariot incident, damaging public trust. During a public grievances meeting, residents raised concerns over encroachments, blocking nalas, and increasing flood risk. The issues illustrated infrastructure strains amid monsoons. It prompted calls for immediate urban planning action. During transport of a 22-foot Ganesh idol in Jalpalli to Purana Pool, 2 people were electrocuted and another injured, again pointing to even safety failures. The accidents underscored the need for regulated ceremonial logistics. It echoed broader concerns about urban event hazards. The IMD warned Hyderabad of extremely heavy monsoon rains, prompting local advisories and preparedness. Residents were urged to brace for flash floods and disruptions. And that's a wrap on today's headlines. If you enjoyed the news on the go, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps us to keep the updates coming your way. Thanks for tuning in, and do let us know if you have any stories you would like to hear in the form of an audiobook. See you tomorrow with more stories that matter. Take care.